So we're gonna get into the career and how you got into the Urban League, right?
So not necessarily the Urban League. I got a partnership with the Urban League.
Partnership with the Urban
through
League.
the Carpenters Union.
Okay.
So I'm part of the Carpenters Union, but I had an opportunity to get involved with the Urban League. I was at the Union Hall one night, and my instructor, me and him were just sitting in his office. We were talking, and all the lights shut off in the building, and people didn't know we was back there. So we went out there to let them know we was here. And so when we went out there, like I told y'all before, my instructor was an old white man, and at this time he's retired. And then out in the hallway was the director of education, so the head of the apprenticeship. He was an old white man, a part-time instructor who's an old white man, and then the outreach lady. She's a middle-aged white woman. You know what I'm saying?
Did you feel comfortable there?
That's what I'm telling you. It's one of those ordeals. So I've never been scared of like racism or nothing like that, because I've never met like no true racist. And these people that I was around didn't make me feel uncomfortable, but like given their position and who they were, I just didn't see opportunities for somebody like me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when they were out there, I heard them talking about Urban League. I heard her say the word Urban League, and then she asked my instructor if he would care to teach the program, because they had made a partnership with the Urban League to where the Urban League would come over to our training center for a week, and we would train their people on hand tools and power tools. Now, again, I ain't an instructor at this point, but I see an opportunity here because I heard the word urban. And I don't know the definition of urban, but anytime I've ever heard it before, it was always referred to black people.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you just see an opportunity here.
Yeah.
You're going to take it.
Yep. So yet again, I see an opportunity. So, and this is no lie. This is no lie. I'm fully transparent. So I went straight to them. And when he said no, I'm not teaching this program. I'm retired. So I heard the word urban. What I know about the word urban, I quickly in my head, I responded to her. I said, I don't know anything about the Urban League, but I do know a little something about the word urban. And it sounds like y'all need a young black man covered in tattoos with felony convictions. You know what I'm saying?
You said that out loud?
I did, bro. I said it out loud. And she got a good laugh out of it. And she was like, you know what? You right. She said, because think about it. If we put any of us in front of a group like this, because the Urban League is full of people that look like us right here in this room right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sure.
So she was like, if I put any of us in front of them, they ain't going to respect nothing I got to say. Nothing that we got to say. She said, but if I put you in front of them, somebody that looks like them, somebody that can relate to them, they actually going to listen. So I said, that's exactly what I'm saying. So they let me start doing the Urban League program. And then as soon as I did my second Urban League class, they invited me to be a full-time instructor. So now I'm just full-time instructing.
And you got that job that you was okay.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell us a little bit about like teaching the classes of Urban League? Like how did that, like your first class, what were the expectations that you had of being I don't know how I want to ask that question, but I want to say you being in the position that you were in. Like, this is your first class.
Right.
You didn't know nothing about it for real. So now you just going off what you know and improvising. How was that for you?
Bruh, improvising is exactly what it was, because they didn't even know how they wanted to teach the program. When I say they, I'm talking Urban League and the Carpenters Union. They didn't know. They didn't know what they wanted to do. All they knew was hand tools and power tools. That's all they told me. So she gave me, the lady who gave me the opportunity, she gave me material on what I could teach out of, but nobody ever told me what to teach. So I had to build the class.
So you just winging it.
Man, I'm telling you, listen, I'm so glad you said that, because my entire career has been winging it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
I don't plan nothing, because here's my saying: don't nothing ever go according to plan. So I don't make plans. So I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out what am I gonna do with these people? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What am I supposed to teach them that they gonna, you know? So I picked the basics. How to swing a hammer, how to use certain tools that you're gonna use every day. How to read a tape measure being the biggest one, because no matter what trade you choose, you got to know how to read a tape measure, no matter what.
Right.
So I built the class accordingly, you know what I mean? So my first class was obviously a trial run because I have not done this before. And again, I'm transparent. So I go through that week of class and I waited till the end of the week to let them know this was the very first class I've ever taught. And every one of them looked like you do right now. They was like, "What? This your first class?"
Nah, that's just messed up.
Yeah.
I be sitting there like, why would you do me like that? Because I'm
Right.
sitting there and think I'm learning something and you just winging it.
But
too.
here's the thing. I winged it so good, they actually learned something. They was like, "We'd have thought you been doing this." You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's how it was, man. I was like, I just give them basic training on some basic hand tools and some basic power tools. I'll give them a project to build that they can take home with them and be proud of. And that's been the program, you know?
Yep. So for the audience that would want to get into like the urban league and wanted to be an instructor, instructor, or just trying to change their life how you did, from going from in and out of trouble growing up, going through it with their parent troubles, your mom, you feel me? Like, how would you? What advice would you give them?
So I wouldn't say set the bar so high as to come in wanting to be an instructor, because I didn't come in wanting to be an instructor. I didn't even know I could. You know what I'm saying? It was just an opportunity that presented itself to me. You can be just as, if not more successful in the field. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, you got to have grit. You know what I mean? You got to have grit and a thick skin, because you are going to encounter people who are going to make you feel uncomfortable. But what I always tell my people is, don't let them get your money. Because if you let them get you out of character, you without a job. Without a job, you ain't getting no money. You let them get your money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to be headstrong, and you got to be willing to learn. That is the biggest part of it, because like dealing with the Urban League, like I love the Urban League program, but it's the participants who join, they're still straddling the fence, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So they one foot in, 1 foot out, you know? So they're not really ready to commit to something like this. So they come in, and when they got to deal with me, I'm hard on my people, because I expect my people to come in and want it, just like I wanted it.
Yes, sir.
So I'm hard on them. I'm not lenient. You know what I'm saying? I'm hard. And I had a guy describe me last week as not for the weak. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So it's one of them. I hold everybody to high expectations as far as just wanting to be there, because if you can't accept constructive criticism, which is what I'm gonna give you, then you're not gonna survive. You gotta keep that will to learn if you're gonna be successful. And in today's generation, being successful is simple as two things: showing up with a good attitude. That's it. Because nowadays you just can't get people to want to work. My success came from just showing up with a good attitude. I ain't got no special skills. Swear to God I don't. You know? So.
All right, and you were asking a question?
Yeah, I was ready to ask how in a trade career is, hold on, my fault.
You good?
You straight.
How in a trade career is it a good plan? Like, how is a trade a good plan for your career?
Yeah, so, all right, so either of y'all plan on going to college?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, I respect that. But college ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard that a lot, too.
It's not for everybody. I knew from the jump, especially with the life I had chose, I ain't going to college. Because when I think of college, I think of a lifetime debt. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And in a trade, you don't have that lifetime debt. You know, especially if you join a union trade. If you join a union trade, you don't have to go to college, and you can make more money than people who went to college, because the stats prove it. A lot of people go to college and then land jobs in a field that they didn't even go to school for. You know what I'm saying? They go to school for a certain thing, and then they can't even get a job in the field that they went to school for.
All right.
But in the trades, you're going to get exactly what you came for without the debt, you know? So to me, it's a good plan, because I ain't got to deal with that lifetime debt. Now, through the apprenticeship, I got a college degree. I got an associate's degree in applied science. Now, that's just a basic 2-year degree, but nonetheless, I got it for free through the trades. I don't owe no school no money. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So to me, that's why it's a good plan, because a lot of people think it's college or fail. You got to go to college to be successful. And a lot of people don't know, just like I didn't know back in school. You ain't got to go to college to be successful. And that's why God put me where I am right now, to be able to preach that message to the people who think they got to go to college. And that's the only reason they're doing it, because they feel like they got to be successful. Well, there's other options. Trade school. Trade school, it created a lot of success for a lot of people. It can break a lot of generational curses for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And I know that there's other people that share a story like mine that could be just as successful. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Y'all know anybody like that?
My
Yes, sir.
stepdad.
Your stepdad? Tell me a little bit about him.
All right, so basically, my stepdad, he was in between Louisville and Ohio most of his childhood. He grew up with his mom and his brother. His brother was always in juvenile detention center. So all he knew was the streets, but when he went to his dad, he had a more structured home. But when he was back in Louisville, it wasn't so structured. So when he was 10, he caught his first case. And when he took the plea deal or whatever he did, he moved with his dad, and his dad couldn't handle him. So he came back to Louisville. He ended up serving, I think, 8 years for drugs or something. As soon as he came out, he went to construction. Like you said, somebody asked him, because at first he was at a McDonald's, but somebody asked him if he knew how to use his hands. And once they did, he went to the construction orientation. He got that. He's been doing it for like 11 years. He's a foreman, and now he changed his life around to God, and now.
For sure.
Yeah.
What trade did he go to, you know?
He's a I know he's construction, like he works on highways and stuff.
So he does heavy highways?
Yeah, heavy highways.
Is he in a union?
He's in a union, but I don't know what the union's called.
So if in a union doing heavy highway, the Carpenters Union does heavy highway.
Yeah,
Do you know?
Yeah.
He's in the Carpenters Union?
Yes, sir.
I see. We joined the same thing, same exact, similar backgrounds, right?
Yes, sir.
And he found a way to change that trajectory, right?
Yes, sir.
Because now, you growing up under him, you now see the opportunity he had to find out later about. You see what I'm saying?
Now he got my brother. My brother didn't want to go to college, and now my brother's working with him. And now he done set my brother up.
And now your brother's set up for life, right? Because now he's got a promising career in a trade where he ain't got to worry about going to college to make good money. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So that's the beauty of it, man. That right there is why I think it's a good plan. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Those who can do college and be successful in whatever they go to college for, kudos to them. I ain't hating on nobody that's successful. But I'm just here to advocate for the people who are struggling to find their success. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
All right, so just like what you just said right there, you're talking to the people that are struggling to find their success. And you really were like a risk-taking person when it came to your career. You were definitely like just winging it, going for it, just taking any opportunity that came to it. So for opportunists like you, what's some advice that you can give to an entrepreneur trying to find himself or herself in their business or and what they want to do growing up now that you can give them from your experience and age?
Okay. So I started instructing at 28. I'm 33 now. So I'm still considered young, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not to y'all, you know what I'm saying?
You'd be like big, bro.
Yeah, but still considered young. So especially at 28 to start instructing, you know what I'm saying? That's a milestone right there. Not too many people can say something like that. But again, the reason I got to where I am, first and foremost, is always be true to yourself. There's no reason to lie to nobody about anything that you do or don't know. Because the biggest part of the trades that I've learned is people tend to lie to get somewhere in the trade, right? So they'll lie about the things they know how to do, and then they're put in a position to do it. And now you out of a job because they just found out that you can't do what you said you could do. But my honesty, when I made that first phone call to get a job, I told them I can't even read a tape measure. And he said, we can work with that because the beauty of it is in a trade, you're going to get training. And if you need training, you're going to get it. But if they don't know you need the training because you lied to them and said you know how to do something you don't know how to do, then you're going to get out there and you're going to fail because now you just lost all respect from whoever it is that you lied to. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the biggest part of it is always be true to yourself and always tell what you do and don't know. Be honest with what you do and don't know, because if you don't know, then there may be a different path for you. You know what I'm saying? A path that's more fitting. And you don't know it until you're honest with you and the people around you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
sir.
really,
Sure.
and I'll tell you the biggest key to success and trying to excel in your career, punctuality, bro. Punctuality, it goes a long way. Do y'all know what punctuality is?
Yes, sir. Being on time and
Yeah.
being early. Being early is on time, and then on time is being late.
My guy, you know what I'm saying? That's as long as y'all know that, then there's no reason for y'all to fail, because when you can show punctuality, you show dependability. I don't tolerate nobody who can't be punctual. And here's the second part of that: communication. If you can't be punctual, you need to communicate it. I'm not going to show up to work late without telling my boss ahead of time. Because if I show up late without telling my boss anything, first off, they wondering where I am at start time. And then when I show up, they wondering where I've been. Because now I'm affecting their workload because they have me partnered with somebody. Now that person's without a partner. They got to move people around to get this person a partner, or they got to completely change that. You see how it affects the workday?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So punctuality and communication is two things that I preach is the keys to success, period. Because if you can't be punctual, you need to communicate it. And you said it perfect. Being early is to be on time. Like a lot of times people try to put a time limit on it. What's it like to be on time? 15 minutes early? No, it's not. It's not 15, 30, 45 minutes early. It's being early. Anytime early is on time. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't be on time, communicate it.
Yes, sir. What's something along the line of your career that people wouldn't expect will be a part of the job? Like, what's some like a long trade that most people wouldn't know about it?
So that one's kind of a hard question to answer, but I'm gonna address what people expect that would make it hard.
Okay.
Is they expect everything to just be handed to you. You know what I'm saying? McDonald's can call you and say we're gonna hire you. You know what I mean? And then y'all just know to go to McDonald's, right? But like in the trades, you gotta think we're building America, right? So when a project starts, it's got to end, right? So when that project ends, you got to find the next one. Now, if you with a contractor and you dependable, you don't have to find the next one because they're going to send you to it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
sir.
a lot of people find that hard because they sitting around waiting on somebody to tell them where to be. And it don't work like that. If you don't have work with a contractor, you got to go seek it. And that's a lot of the part that's hard for a lot of people is they sitting at home waiting on the phone to ring. And it don't work like that because there's plenty of people out here running around looking for the job you waiting on the call for. So showing up on the job physically, asking for a job is way different than waiting for somebody from the union hall to call you and say, hey, they need help at this job site. You know what I mean?
Did you struggle asking for help, like with this, like teaching, learning about it? Was it hard for you asking for help?
No, so before my grandmother passed, when I was going through my criminal life, right?
Mhm.
When I was dealing with all the stuff I was dealing with, my pride was the biggest part of everything I put myself through. My pride put me in a lot of positions that I could have avoided. But one thing she begged me to do when I came home from my last bid was she just kept begging me, please put your pride away. Please put your pride away. So when I started my career as a carpenter, I put my pride away. I became fully transparent about everything. I was honest with people about what I didn't know. That way they knew what I didn't know. And it takes pride to be that vulnerable to say, man, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And I've just been truly blessed in my career. I don't know what a layoff is because I showed myself to be dependable by my contractor. And they told me, we'll never lay you off. And they didn't. You know what I'm saying? Because they knew I was dependable. I'd be there wherever they told me to be. So and then like if there was something I didn't understand on the job, I didn't have too much pride to go ask the next man to show me how to do it or help me how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So setting that pride to the side, man, it's just I didn't struggle because I wasn't scared to ask for help.
All right.
So, going back to your backstory a little bit, growing up in a house with all females, was that hard?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Y'all got any females in the home?
I was just right. I was going to tell you that, like, I grew up with a lot of siblings, too. Like, it's 7 of us, but I grew up with just 6 of them. And it was, like, 3 girls and just 3 boys, but I was the middle child. So it was a younger one, it was an older one. And it was just the girls ruling the house because my dad, he didn't really care for the activity in the house,
right?
If I was gonna say so, everything was more dominant because my mom was more in control. So,
yeah,
you got a lot of the action.
Yeah, for sure.
Same thing. I grew up. Well, I live with my mom. I got a brother and a little sister, and she just rules the house. Whatever she says goes.
Yeah, for sure. So y'all know what it's like to grow up with females, and being the only boy. That's the only difference is I was the only boy. Literally, my mama and my 2 sisters, and then me, the only boy. So it was one of those ordeals. I caught the heat for everything. My sisters would, I dealt with that type of relationship where my sisters would hit me and then run and tell mama that I hit them. So now not only did I get hit by them, I'm getting hit by mama too. You know what I'm saying? So it was anything they said was gold, Man,
I had to run around the tree with my mama, man. Because I was like, I was the bad kid. I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't like the one that was always starting something, but like, yeah, you see me in a lot of trouble.
Right.
I can admit that I was in a lot of trouble. Because I would never like sit down. And it's not like they were all older than me. I'm like there's a big age gap actually between all my siblings and me.
Yeah.
So it's just like they all older, and then I grew up hanging with them. So the crowd I hang with is older, so I grew up faster, and I can't relate with nobody in my age group because they all like they're not mature yet in the mind. So it's kind of hard to talk to them.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was like easy for me to get in the wrong crowd and hang around and do the wrong stuff. I was ready to tell you that when we was about to do the interview, actually around that time I had just got in trouble.
Yeah.
So I just came back from the hour. I said like this interview is gonna be dope because I'm ready to tell them how we can relate on a lot of levels. And then you bailed, and I was like, dang.
Yeah.
So like it's all right though.
Yeah, all is well. Like I told you before we started, God bless you to be here to do it with me again today.
Yeah.
And I do apologize for the first meeting we were supposed to have.
Yeah,
I dropped the ball on that, man. I admit that. I admit it.
It's straight though. But just to wrap it up, is there anything you want to tell the audience? Any advice? Any words of wisdom? Family want to reach out to?
Right. But before I do that, I want to give him an opportunity to ask me another question. If it looked like you might have had a question that you wanted to ask.
So with the instructor job, what do you ever do work in the field anymore? Or are you just strictly in the classroom instructing?
So the apprenticeship program is not just in the classroom. We train hands-on. So even though I'm not on a construction site, I'm still doing hands-on work because I'm training my apprentices on how to do the hands-on work out in the field. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So I am a full-time instructor. I don't go to job sites or nothing like that, but I do work hands-on with the apprentices. We do physically build stuff in the training center. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So does that answer your question efficiently?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So back to closing it up.
Yeah, just closing it up.
Again, I can't reiterate enough how important it is to be punctual and have good communication and have a positive attitude. Those 3 key factors will get you success in whatever avenue you choose. Because though the Carpenters Union was what did it for me, I know that is not for everybody. The Carpenters is not for everybody. I get it. You know what I mean? But I just advocate for success because I just so happen to find my success through my adversities in the Carpenters Union. But you may not like working with metal, working with wood, pouring concrete, different stuff like that. You might want to play with wires like an electrician. You might want to set steel like an iron worker. You might want to play with I almost went out of line and said play with poop, and using another word because the pipe fitters, you know what I'm saying? Pipe fitters
Right.
who run all the pipe for toilets and different things like that. They don't just play with toilets, but it's trade stuff. We take jabs at each other. It is what it is.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? Every job that exists requires somebody to do it, right?
Yes.
And people find their niche in those things, and the only way to be successful in any of it is to have those three qualities. So the best words of wisdom I can always offer is attitude, punctuality, and communication. You got those three qualities, then you can't fail. You can't fail.
All right. Appreciate that.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for having us. And we appreciate you showing up to Central High School.
Man.
And then welcome to A Different World 2.0.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. God bless.